Good morning, friends. So this Saturday I'm running the Self-Care to Self-Love to Total Clarity online workshop. It's running 10 till 12:30 over Zoom, and we're going to be exploring practices drawn from yoga, embodiment, meditation, visualisation, journaling, as a way to start to delve a little bit deeper and gain a greater understanding of how it is that we're caring for ourselves, and is that serving us? How we see ourselves and how we have a relationship with ourselves, and how we can nourish that so to become our best friend. And then if we can get these two areas of our life nourished, how that can start to give us so much more clarity on how we want to live, how we see our future, and what actually in our life at the moment is and isn't aligned with that. So I'm really excited. And so this morning I wanted to share with you 2 lines of inquiry that we're going to delve into much more depth within the workshop, but also these 2 lines of inquiry that I invite clients to go down, particularly if they come to me to start our coaching relationship and they don't have a goal yet. All they know is that how life is right now isn't serving them. And that's not a bad place to be, because at least you know what you don't want. But to start to gain that deeper inquiry and that greater understanding, these 2 questions are so helpful to explore. So the first one is values. What do you stand for? What do you hold important to you? And as you start to gather this group of values, 5 or 6, that really feel like, yeah, these are what I really need in place, then you can start to explore, well, if I was living completely in line with these values, how would life be moving and flowing for me? How would I care for myself? What relationships might I be having and not having? What conversations might I be having and not having? Where will I live? What will my home life be like? What will my surroundings be like? What will my office look like? Starting to get an idea of, if things were lining up, what might they look like? And also shine a light on, well, why is this value so important to me? Why is authenticity so important to me? And how life is flowing for me at the moment, what isn't lining up with this? So am I having lots of unauthentic relationships, or having conversations that simply don't feel like straight up true? If financial freedom is one of your values, why is that important to you? So really start to embed these values into your understanding. Not just, yeah, these would be a nice to have, but no, why do I need this? Why do I value this? Why do I hold this so important? And as you start to gather these values and a greater understanding of why they're yours, then you can look at, well, at the moment, these areas of my life, certain areas of my life, aren't lining up to these values. What happens if I now do nothing with that knowledge and that understanding? And I write it in my journal and then I lock it away. What happens? What's the consequence of doing nothing with that awareness now? So that as you start to unfold this greater understanding of what you want, and you start to take actions towards that, and you will almost definitely come up against some resistance, some fear, these things are changing and it feels scary and new, then you can come back to that consequential question. Okay, this feels scary right now. I feel very out of my comfort zone right now because this feels new. But what happens if I don't do that? Don't do this. What's the consequence of that then? So that is my first line of inquiry that I offer you. values, why they're important. Second line of inquiry is, what do I need? What do I need right now? What do I need right now to feel safe? What do I need right now to feel loved, to feel secure? And some of these might come from a deeper place, a less kind of egotistical place. And some of these will come from fear, will come from worry of change. And some of those needs might be keeping us playing pretty small. And that's okay, but get them all down. What are your needs? And then that second line of inquiry to our needs is, well, now I know my values, and I know these areas of my life that are really not lining up with those. What support do I need to start to get these lining up? What support do I need to make some of these changes? And they might be real logistical stuff like, I need another 2 hours a week without the kids, so maybe I need some childcare. I need to start talking about this stuff more because I've realised that I'm holding way too much too close to me, so maybe I need to get a coach, go get some talking therapy, meet up with my girlfriends a little more often. Begin to understand the support network that you need to feel like you can thrive and feel supported as you move into these potentially uncharted territories of building this new life that you want. So what support do you need? Both logistical, emotional support. And then as we start to look at these needs, then we can start to also look at, well, what do I need in the way that I care for myself? I'm beginning to get an idea of the values that I want to line up my life with, the areas of my life that I need to start reviewing. And I'm getting an idea of some certain relationships I might need to nourish or move away from. So how do I stay on the path for that? Well, I might need to start sleeping more. I'm not sleeping enough. Or I might need to start journaling a little bit more on this, getting this really clear on paper and getting this clear on paper every day. What consistent, small ways can I support myself so that I have the internal resource that I need to begin to move forward? So maybe you need to stretch out to clear that tension in your shoulders so you can sit down and start to write the start of the novel that you've wanted to write for ages. How do you need to care for yourself so that you have the inner resource to go ahead and do what you need to do? So my 2 lines of inquiry for you are, what do you value and what do you need? So I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear what you think about it as well. And I'd love to hear if you're already on this path of answering these lines of inquiry. If you would like to join me for the workshop on Saturday, then the link is in my bio and in the comments below. If you would like to explore working more one-to-one, then I am here. Slide into my private messages. We'll chat a bit more around rates and book you in for a clarity call and see if we're a good fit. Have a gorgeous day and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.